Good morning. Today's Bible reading comes from Leviticus 12 through 14. Let's open up with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for you to help us to understand what is going on in these passages and how they can be applied to our lives in some way, whether it is a simple lesson to be learned of obedience or of the grace that you have given and the mercy that you have shown us. So we ask these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay. Let's get it going. Jealousy of Aaron and Miriam. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses on the pretext of the Cushite woman he had married, for he had in fact married a Cushite woman. They complained, "Is it through Moses alone that the Lord has spoken? Has he not spoken through us also?" And the Lord heard this. Now the man Moses was very humble, more than anyone else on earth. So at once the Lord said to Moses and Aaron and Miriam, "Come out, you three, to the tent of meeting." And the three of them went. Then the Lord came down in a column of cloud, and standing at the entrance of the tent called Aaron and Miriam. When both came forward, the Lord said, "Now listen to my words. If there are prophets among you, in visions I reveal myself to them. In dreams I speak to them. Not so with my servant Moses. Throughout my house he is worthy of trust. Face to face I speak to him, plainly and not in riddles. The likeness of the Lord he beholds. Why then do you not fear to speak against my servant Moses?" And so the Lord's wrath flared against them, and he departed. Miriam's punishment. Now the cloud withdrew from the tent, and there was Miriam, stricken with a scaly infection, white as snow. When Aaron turned toward Miriam and saw her stricken with snow-white scales, he said to Moses, "Ah, my Lord, please do not charge us with the sin that we have foolishly committed. Do not let her be like the stillborn baby that comes forth from its mother's womb with its flesh half consumed." Then Moses cried to the Lord, "Please, not this. Please heal her." But the Lord answered Moses, "Suppose her father had spit in her face. Would she not bear her shame for 7 days? Let her be confined outside the camp for 7 days. Afterwards, she may be brought back." So Miriam was confined outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not start out again until after she was brought back. After that, the people set out from Hazeroth and encamped in the wilderness of Paran. The 12 scouts. The Lord said to Moses, "Send men to reconnoiter the land of Canaan, which I am giving the Israelites. So you shall send 1 man from each ancestral tribe, every one a leader among them." So Moses sent from them from the wilderness of Paran at the direction of the Lord. All of them were leaders among the Israelites. These were their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zuccur. From the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, son of Hori. From the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh. From the tribe of Issachar, Igal. From the Josephites, from the tribe of Ephraim, Hosea, son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodai. For the Josephites, from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, son of Sushi. Gadi, son of Sushi. Susi. Not sushi. Susi. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gamali. From the tribe of Asher, Sethur, son of Michael. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Bophsi. From the tribe of Gad, Gul, son of Maki. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent to reconnoiter the land. But Hosea, son of Nun, Moses called Joshua. In sending them to reconnoiter the land of Canaan, Moses said to them, "Go up there in the Negeb, up into the highlands, and see what kind of land it is, and whether the people living there are strong or weak, few or many. Is the country in which they live good or bad? Are the towns in which they dwell open or fortified? And do your best to get some of the fruit of the land." It was then the season for early grapes. So they went up and reconnoitered the land from the wilderness of Zin, as far as where Rehob joins Lebo Hamath. Going up by the way of the Negeb, they reached Hebron, where Ahiman and Shishai and Talmai, descendants of the Anakim, were. Now Hebron had been built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. They also reached the Wadi Eshcol, where they cut down a branch with a single cluster of grapes on it, which 2 of them carried on a pole, as well as some pomegranates and figs. It was because of the clusters the Israelites cut there that they called the place Wadi Eshcol. Their report. They returned from reconnoitering the land 40 days later, proceeding directly to Moses and Aaron and the whole community of the Israelites in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They made a report to them and to the whole community, showing them the fruit of the land. They told Moses, "We come to the land to which you sent us. It does indeed flow with milk and honey, and here is its fruit. However, the people who are living in the land are powerful, and the towns are fortified and very large. Besides, we saw descendants of the Anakim there. Amalekites live in the region of the Negeb. Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites dwell in the highlands, and Canaanites along the sea and the banks of the Jordan." Caleb, however, quieted the people before Moses and said, "We ought to go up and seize the land, for we can certainly prevail over it." But the man who had gone up with him said, "We cannot attack these people. They are too strong for us. They spread discouraging reports among the Israelites about the land they have reconnoitered, saying, 'The land that we went through and reconnoitered is a land that consumes its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw there are huge. There we saw the Nephilim, and the Anakim are from the Nephilim. In our own eyes we seem like mere grasshoppers, and so we must have seemed to them.'" Threats of revolt. At this, the whole community broke out with loud cries, and the people wept into the night. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, the whole community saying to them, "If only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we die here in the wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us into this land, only to have us fall by the sword? Our wives and little ones will be taken as spoil. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt?" So they said to one another, "Let us appoint a leader and go back to Egypt." But Moses and Aaron fell prostrate before the whole assembled community of the Israelites, while Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who had been among those who reconnoitered the land, tore their garments and said to the whole community of the Israelites, "The land with which we went through and reconnoitered is exceedingly good land. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord. You need not be afraid of the people of the land, for they are but food for us. Their protection has left them, but the Lord is with us. Do not fear." The Lord's sentence. The whole community threatened to stone them, but the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of the meeting to all the Israelites. And the Lord said to Moses, "How long will this people spurn me? How long will they not trust me, despite all the signs I have performed among them? I will strike them with pestilence and disown them. Then I will make of you a nation greater and mightier than they." But Moses said to the Lord, "The Egyptians will hear of this, for by your power you brought out this people from among them. They will tell the inhabitants of this land who have heard that you, Lord, are in the midst of this people. You, Lord, who directly revealed yourself before them day by day in a column of cloud and by night in a column of fire. If now you slay this people all at once, the nations who have heard such reports of you will say, 'The Lord was not able to bring this people into the land he swore to give them. That is why he slaughtered them in the wilderness.' Now then, may my Lord's forbearance be great, even as you have said. The Lord is slow to anger and abounding in kindness, forgiving iniquity and rebellion, yet certainly not declaring the guilty guiltless, but punishing children to the third and fourth generation for their parents' iniquity. Pardon then the iniquity of this people in keeping with your great kindness, even as you have forgiven them from Egypt until now." The Lord answered them, "I pardon them as you have asked, yet my life and the Lord's glory that fills the whole earth, and all of the people who have seen my glory and the signs I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and who nevertheless have put me to the test 10 times already, and have not obeyed me, not one shall see the land which I promised an oath to their ancestors. None of those who have spurned me shall see it. But as for my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit and follows me unreservedly, I will bring him into the land which he entered, and his descendants shall possess it. But now, since the Amalekites and Canaanites are living in the valleys, turn away tomorrow and set out into the wilderness by way of the Red Sea road." The Lord also said to Moses and Aaron, "How long will this wicked community grumble against me? I have heard the grumblings of the Israelites against me. Tell them, 'By my life, oracle of the Lord, I will do to you just what I have heard you say. Here in the wilderness your dead bodies shall fall, all of your men of 20 years or more enrolled in your registration, who grumbled against me. Not one of you shall enter the land where I solemnly swore to settle you, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Your little ones, however, who you said would be taken as spoil, I will bring in, and they shall know the land you rejected. But as for you, your bodies shall fall here in the wilderness, while your children will wander for 40 years, suffering for your infidelity till the last of you lies dead in the wilderness. Corresponding to the number of days you spent reconnoitering to the land, 40 days you shall bear your punishment, 1 year for each day, 40 years. Thus you will realize what it means to oppose me. I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will surely do this to this entire wicked community that conspired against me. Here in the wilderness they shall come to their end, and there they will die. And the men whom Moses had sent to reconnoiter the land, and who are returning, had set the whole community grumbling against him by spreading discouraging reports about the land. These men who had spread discouraging reports about the land were struck down by the Lord and died. Only Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, survived all of the men who had gone to reconnoiter the land. Unsuccessful invasion. When Moses repeated these words to all the Israelites, the people mourned greatly. Early the next morning they started up high into the hill country, saying, "Here we are, ready to go up to the place that the Lord spoke of, for we did wrong." But Moses said, "Why are you now transgressing the Lord's order? This cannot succeed. Do not go up, because the Lord is not in your midst. Do not allow yourself to be struck down by your enemies. For here the Amalekites and the Canaanites will face you, and you will fall by the sword. You have turned back from following the Lord, therefore the Lord will not be with you." Yet they dared to go up high into the hill country, even though neither the ark of the covenant of the Lord nor Moses left the camp. And the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in the hill country came down and defeated them, beating them back as far as Hormah. And that is it for today's Bible reading. As always, be a little kinder to yourself, be kind to one another, love one another. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.